Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kind for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. Where are my peeps? Donde están mi gente? I see. Welcome aboard. Yvette Avery Herod from Atlanta, Georgia is in the house. We have AVQ El Senor Michael Rudnin from Brooklyn, New York is in the house. We also have Eric Hayes in the house from Parver, Atascocita, Kingwood. How are my peeps doing? I trust everybody is doing fine. Well, we are going to have a good program. I was late today because I'm getting all kind of stuff put together, and oh my God, tú sabes cómo va la cosa. You know how it is. But you know what? We still got here maybe about 2 minutes late, but well, actually, we were in time. We came in at 3 o'clock minute, but we were a bit longer on the thing. But you know what? Who cares, right? We're going to get stuff going. I'm still setting up as we speak to make sure that I can get us on all the channels that we are supposed to be on. So anyway, how are my people doing? How are my people doing? You're not late, Egberto. Thank you. J. Ray says, Feliz miércoles, Egberto. Wait a minute. Martes. Miércoles is tomorrow. Wait, today's Tuesday, right? Hey guys, don't convince me. Don't confuse me. I hope it's Tuesday. It is, right? Anyway, if it's Tuesday, it is martes. Wednesday, it's miércoles. Okay, great. Thank you. Hey Jay, what are you trying to do? Give me a heart attack or something? Paul Fleming is in the house from Powder Springs, Georgia. How are you doing, Paul? Great to see you here. I am still getting our stuff all connected up, so bear with me a while. We got Maywood from where's Maywood from? Maywood from El Senor, Long Beach, California. How you doing, May? Great to see you here, my brother. And we also have it's Taco Tuesday. Are you going to get me some tacos? Jay Ray says correction, martes. Hey Jay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to make you pay a penalty for scaring me like that, man. I'm sitting down there saying, "Oh my God, you mean I'm a day behind and I didn't even know I have an interview." Hey, by the way, guys, I look up this guy. His name is Bracy Eddy. What is it, Bracy Eddy? Let me make sure I get the name right. It's a MAGA guy. He has a show, and I went ahead and interviewed him today. The interview was supposed to be 22 minutes, but it lasted about 50 minutes or a little bit, somewhere around there, about 50 minutes. The name of the guy is Bryce Eddy. Look that up, Bryce Eddy. So I'll see if I can play that tomorrow, maybe. I haven't processed it yet, but I may play that tomorrow. He's a MAGA guy, but he's a intelligent guy. Has his own radio show, etc. A friend of Trump directly. In fact, he's going to Mar-a-Lago tomorrow. So I wanted to get to talk to folks and see where they really are. And the conversation went well, a little bit contentious at times, but it went fairly well. And I will play that for you guys tomorrow. Of course, it's going to take up most of the hour. I'll probably just have about 7 minutes of dead time. But I know you guys are going to appreciate it. So anyway, that's what we'll likely do tomorrow, I believe. Anyhow, let's see. Michael Rones has found over here. Not interested. Google. No, but I think you're going to want to look. Don't say that for me, please, Michael. I want you to listen to the entire interview, and let me tell you why. Because you're going to be able to see their thought process, right? And I don't even know if his thought, like I told him at the end of the thing, and I was directly direct in his face about this. I don't know if he is, because he's a smart guy. I don't know if he's playing a role or what, because there are a lot of smart guys in the MAGA movement that are just taking advantage of it. Michael Rudnin. So you're going to use an appointment day to skip on listening to the MAGA guy? I think you'll enjoy the conversation. But anyway, I'm playing with you. If you got an appointment, you get an appointment. All right, Paul Fleming says in 2005, a Bush Republican trifecta tried to dismantle Social Security by privatizing it. The media asked, aren't Democrats going to negotiate with them? Nancy Pelosi responded, it's never good for you. Voters repudiated Republicans in '06. Voters repudiated Republicans' attempt to bring back pre-existing medical condition in 18. Just walk away from Republican proposal on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA. Let them hang themselves on their own overreaching. I agree wholeheartedly with that. That is exactly what needs to be done. J. Ray says, mi español es mal. No, it's not mal. You just had the wrong date. That's all. But your español is just fine. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is embarrassing on all levels to any argument, law, and order. Pardon for any crime from I am glad Biden did it because he protected his son from the evil that Donald Trump was attempting to emanate to get back at Biden. Biden did the right thing so that they couldn't come up with any Trump up charges. I would do it if it were me, I would do the same. Let's stop talking about the pardons. There's a lot of things happening in the world. If you look at what happened in South Korea, where the South Korean leader declared uh, declared that martial law, something that Donald Trump would probably attempt to do once the protest begins, and we'll be ready for that. Let's see. Michael says, "I'm gonna." Let's see. He says, "Have you any idea what's going on in Syria?" Well, Syria is it's an opportunistic situation because pretty much Hezbollah is under attack right now and in a weakened state, right? What it turns out to be is that in Syria, the rebels think that they could actually go ahead and attack, attack and take care of business. That's what it's really all about. But it seems like Syria is getting some Russian help. We'll see how that turns out. I don't even know that we want to get engaged there, though we probably will, but you know how that goes. Paul Fleming says, for 89 years through war and peace, boom, time, and bust, health and pandemic, Social Security has never missed a single payment, nor will it. They can play and jive and do whatever they want, but if any particular party who creates a situation where a payment is missed is dead. I repeat, that party, any attempt to do that, that party would be dead party walking. So you don't have to worry too much about that because it ain't gonna happen. No va a pasar. Okay? All right. What else have I got here? Let me see. I tell you what, I did a piece today on my show, on the KPFT show about healthcare that I want to go ahead and play now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start it, and then we can continue the program after this goes. Let's get busy at this time.
It's like you're hiring your own death panel. When your care starts cutting into Medicare Advantage profitability, they give you the axe, literally and figuratively. I mean, if you get a costly cancer treatment prescribed and Medicare Advantage denies your treatment, what are you to do? Egberto's given lots of horror stories about people given death sentences over Medicare Advantage profits. It's up to the citizens. Turn the page.
Page 2.
It's up to I was going to write, well, it's up to the citizens to drive those vampires out with a stake through their heart. But it's really
It's pretty gruesome.
It's really it's up to the citizen. It's up to the citizens and government to make sure these corporate abuses of public trust are prosecuted. Oh, darn. The Supreme Court is corrupted too. What's a poor American citizen to do?
Well, we don't want to move to Venezuela.
No, we don't.
That's not a good place for us to go to. So maybe Sweden with the Swedish.
Actually, believe it or not, good healthcare, good. I mean, a lot of good stuff in Sweden, a lot of good stuff in Norway. In fact, I did a piece on I interviewed this American who emigrated to Norway. He lives there permanently now. He got there when Bush got elected. He decided to just call it quits and leave the country. And while in Norway, his son got in an accident and was temporarily paralyzed. What his son went through would have costed him a fortune, if not his home, everything else. In Norway, it was all covered, from the helicopter ride from the mountain where his son went, to the rehabilitation, which was a long rehabilitation process. And I can tell you, here in America, you don't get it. My daughter got like 9 weeks of rehab, and everything else had to be done on her lonesome, and she's still doing it on her lonesome. Let me tell you, when we talk about the terrible state of our healthcare, for those who don't know, my daughter has had 2 strokes the first one before she was 30, the second one, I think, when she was 30, And brother, thank you for that, because and thanks for bringing up Sweden, Howard, because it gives me a chance to not bloviate, because bloviate kind of make it look like it's silly stuff, to talk some real stuff about where healthcare is around the world. Norway, and any of these Scandinavian countries, even France. But when we talk about the Scandinavian countries, they don't pay any more per se in taxes than we do, if you count insurance that we pay, which can cost you a bunch as taxes, because you got to have it. So if it's a single payer system, it costs you a lot less, but it's taxes, right? But you get the service that you need. You never, ever have to worry about, I can't afford to go to the doctor, ever. And it's, people, when people hear that your money can go so much further if you have a single payer Medicare for all type system, the only way we don't do it is because we misinform, ill-informed, disinformed people. Just before I came onto the show today, I was listening to a writer from The Atlantic. And this writer was talking about the Democratic Party and his concern that the country has made a rightward populist move, and that truth no longer matters, that it's all about lies, and, that goes through, etc. And his critique of the Democratic Party is, are they ever going to understand that and stop being sort of an elitist type party? And half of what he said was right. Democrats tend to be elitist because they don't go where the people are. They don't go to meet the people oftentimes. We tell them what's good for them, and then we call it a day, as opposed to first listening to their needs and then catering what Democrats are proposing in a form that is for these people who are listening. So let me give a perfect example. Democrats are progressive Democrats are for Medicare for all, and they are for having healthcare as a human right. Republicans promote that as pie in the sky, overspending, etc. Wow, imagine they are able to tell rural America that Medicare for all is overspending. Think about this. It's overspending. And they buy it, right? They buy that I can't have good health care. I can't have my needs taken care of because it's overspending. Now, I want you to think about this. All over rural America, everywhere in rural America, people are dying because hospitals are closing. And why are and these are mostly occurring in red states. And why are these hospitals closing? These hospitals are closing because these state governments, many of them, refuse to accept the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act, which give poor people, and guess what the rural area is filled with? Poor people. Give poor people access to health care, and that access to health care would be paid for by the federal government, which would keep those hospitals in those rural areas open and ready to take patients on an emergency basis, on a cancer basis, where people don't have to run to the big cities for service. So here we are. Democrats have the policy to keep those hospitals open, but Republicans are preaching that these policies are bad for them. How comes when the next hospital closes in Timbuktu, rural America, you don't see a band of Democrats in a bus that drives the 150 miles into rural America and put up a big stand and say, this hospital here is going away because this congressperson, that senator, that state senator, they all said that they rather kill you than keep this hospital open. They could use what's happening in real time if they respected our rural brothers and sisters enough to get to hell out of the cities, go into these areas and earn the damn vote. Earn the vote of our rural brothers and sisters. You know, a lot of them are going to say, well, you know what they say? They call us own the libs and all of that. You know why they do that? That didn't happen overnight. We seeded. When I say we, I have to take my host hat off. So I got to stop talking about we. Democrats seeded the rural areas to the charlatanes of the Republican Party. They seeded it. They said you could have it. We will work with the masses. Look, the honorable folks, the moral folks, the folks who care about humanity can also have a problem in elitism, in how they address others, right? And we all sometimes fail at that. And what I'm saying is the Democratic Party doesn't need to change who they are, because who they are is that moral being that believes in humanity, that doesn't believe. And when I say the Democratic Party, I'm talking about the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, because the neoliberal wing of the Democratic is no different than the neoliberal wing of the Republican Party. No difference whatsoever. The only difference that they have is the neoliberal wing of the the Republican Party will kowtow to Trump, while the neoliberal wing of the Democratic Party would not do that. But fiscally and character-wise, no difference. But the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is the morality of what America represents. And if you doubt it, I went to a Netroots back in Arizona, in Phoenix. I think it was the one where Elizabeth Warren came and gave the keynote speech. And Elizabeth Warren highlighted all the progressive policies that Democrats support, and then mapped that against what Americans said that they want. And even Republicans wanted the policies that Democrats support. So let's get back to Brother Jack and Medicare Advantage and how it's killing people. It's not hard. It's not hard to put what the neoliberals have allowed, and that's Democratic neoliberals and Republican neoliberals have allowed the private insurance companies to do to Americans, not just seniors. Yes, seniors with Medicare Advantage, but all Americans with insurance proper. They've used us. Our politicians have allowed the private sector to use us as cogs, a profit center, with our putting our health at risk for the private insurance companies. And that is something that we should never forgive them for. And that is something that we should have their jobs for. That is something that we should make sure that any one of those politicians who support private health insurance and what they do to us should never see elected office again. But you know what? We have to start treating all Americans as intelligent beings because they are. Ill-informed? Yes. Misinformed? Yes. But we have got to start addressing our brothers and sisters not as if, because we really do care, whether you're in rural America or whether you're in city America. Absolutely. So whether you're in rural America or city America. Anyway, folks, so think about that. I want you to really think about that. I don't know what CSEC is talking about in the chat, but I find it ironic because the same people that are talking that sort of nonsensical stuff that you hear our brother CSEC talking about there are the same people that beg the government for stuff when they're in need. All these farmers that voted for Trump after he applied the tariffs, the soybean farmers and all these farmers were holding out for welfare. And guess who gave them welfare? Donald Trump. So let's be very, very clear about that. Okay. Let's be absolutely clear about that. The biggest welfare recipient in this country are people in red states. And the reason they are this way is that they don't invest in their people, they don't educate their people, they don't do any of the thing that's needed for people. And also their healthcare is the lousiest. They are sicker. All of these things apply to red states. When I hear good brothers like CSEC come on here and talk all this crap about reducing the government and all of that, they are more dependent on the government than anybody else. I repeat, red states and the people therein are more dependent on government than any other states in this country. So, guys, I think you guys need to look in the mirror, my brothers. Look in the mirror. All right, Common Dreams. 3 richest Americans now own more wealth than the bottom half of us combined report. I saw that in Common Dreams. I think that was actually a while. Oh, that's an old article though. That's a very old article. But it is a true article, right? Tony says, not to mention, we pay almost twice as much per capita and have worse health care outcomes. That is a shame that is the case. That we have, again, the worst outcomes for that health care. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Let me scroll up to see what folks are talking about. Pardon Hunter, great. Now pardon everything else. Every prosecutor, every Biden administration staffer, every media figure, every body Trump will persecute. 10,000 pardons. You know what I think he should do? Realistically, I think what he should do is pardon all the people in the Justice Department. I don't think he has to worry about the media guys. The media guys will probably sue him. Of course, half the court's still Biden's court. So those things may be going on for years upon years upon years, so that by then there will be a more sensible administration voted into office. All right, Tony says, Mike C., we are the only major country that handles essentials like education and healthcare the way that we do. Most other developed countries have much more robust social safety nets. You know, our educational system is also allows, at least here in Texas, right? It is based on where you live, and when we tried a Robin Hood type approach, it got kicked out. It worked for a while, and then there were problems with it. So I mean, but as far as the healthcare is concerned, it is a sham. Medicare Advantage is nothing more than a manner in which our insurance companies steal from the American people. I repeat, Medicare Advantage is a what, folks? A fraud. I repeat after me. Medicare Advantage is a fraud on Americans. It's a fraud on the taxpayer. It's a fraud on the recipient of Medicare Advantage because, again, it continues the path to indentured esclavitud. La esclavitud de la gente. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Mike Cisak says Paul Fleming. If they do that, then there is a presumption of guilt by the Republican Party, by the Democratic Party, according to Scudder's ruling. That would be we should ban the Democratic Party. Oh my God, we should ban the Democratic Party? Really? Oh my God. Come on now, Mike Cisak. Wise up. All right, Tony says income and wealth inequality is also at an all-time high. The three wealthiest people in own more than 50% of the America combined. They want us fighting over culture wars, so that why that it makes us blind to all the other stuff. That is what they want. And that's why I try to bring everybody into the fold. All right, we have a new person, Angieri Fior. Where are you from, Angieri Fior? I'd love to hear. I don't even know where is that name is from. Let's see what we got. Not to mention, we pay almost twice as much per capita and have worse healthcare outcomes. Say what you will about Dems under them 50 million Americans gained coverage under Trump. People lost care. That is true. Under Trump, people lost care. Under Biden, people gained. Under Obama, people gained. Let's be clear, folks. One party supports humanity, the other party supports capitalism, and capitalism ain't humanity. All right, let's see. Paul Fleming says, never forget this. Uh, the forces determine our democracy, rigging our economy. Sorry about that. I had to drink a little bit. All right, let's see what we got here. Say what you will about Dems under them 50 million Americans gain coverage under. Yeah. All right. What else have we got here? Tony says, Mike C, we are the only country that does healthcare this way. That is true. What else have we got here? Michael Rowan said, I'd rather think of it this way. The top 1% owns more than the bottom 90%. I mean, that is obscene, but it's true. And that is what you find these people supporting. Sadly, that's what they're supporting. All right. All right. Mike Cisak says UK and Canada are suffering from not being able to fund all of the healthcare needs people demand. So many have to go to other countries, and that's a lie. Let me just tell folks that is a lie that the right wings puts out. Okay, Canada can take care of its own. France can take care of its own. Now, if somebody if somebody doesn't want to go, if somebody needs a hip replacement, and again, and they don't have they have the money to go elsewhere to get it done immediately, then c'est la vie. They go somewhere else and get it done. In America, that's the same, right? If you want to get your help, pay the money and you can get a whole lot done. But here is what people don't understand. Whereas in America, they claim that because we don't have socialized medicine, that you would have waiting lines. Guess what? In America, you have waiting lines all over the place. You try to get a specialist. Oh, you get into a waiting line. You try to make an appointment to a primary care physician, you got to get into a line. But our healthcare costs 2, 3 times as much. Don't buy into the lie. All right, let's see. Tony, actually, most countries have a mix, both government and private sector healthcare. Yeah, Israel does. The UK and Canada have a type of single payer. Yes, and it's a preferred thing, single payer. That's what we should be talking about. Okay, Paul says double coverage. Medicare pays insurers billions a year to cover veterans who instead get treatment at the VA. I don't think I used my Medicare in years. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Mike C. says, Egberto, that's racist. Many of the red states have high minority populations, which are poor due to Democrat. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The state is controlled by the Republican governor. The state is controlled by a Republican led legislature. The state is served by most of the people who represent you in Congress are Republicans. And don't dare try to say that most of these people living in dire straits are minorities. In West Virginia, most of the people getting welfare, white. In Alabama, most of the people getting welfare, white. In Louisiana, most of the people getting welfare, white. Mike Cisak, wake up and learn, my brother. Wake up and learn. Okay, continuing, my brothers. Michael Renner says Mike C acknowledges that minorities are poorer than whites, but doesn't understand the causes. It's not just systemic racism included in the history of redlining and mass incarceration. And by the way, redlining is a form of racism. And with conservatives have been pushing for decades, but also a matter of generational wealth. Exactly. You know, it's like this, right? You're working and somebody steals doesn't pay you your wage and instead steal your wages and they invest your wages and they build themselves up and then they say, what's wrong with you? Why can't you do what I did? Well, because you stole my wages. Slavery was a form of wage theft. And you wonder? All right, let's continue. Paul Fleming says, I'm so surprised we broke the Black Friday sales record as a nation when just a month ago we couldn't afford eggs. Look, I tell you that remember this, folks, all that you that are listening, including some of my friends that refuse to accept this. Kamala Harris lost not because of economics. Kamala Harris lost not because she didn't have a good message. Because Kamala's message is one that did much better than Trump's message. Kamala lost because she's a black Asian woman. Nothing other than that. A black Asian woman, and there is still too much a percentage of her white brothers and sisters that are still very racist. Okay? I mean, look, and I am saying this with love. That's just how it is. So the economic message that the media is trying to spin as to why Kamala lost, it's just a facade that goes ahead and engulf America's inherent racism and sexism, I need to add. Racism and sexism. Okay? So get all of that stuff out of your head about economics because while they were talking about the economy is bad, people were spending out of the zoo. The hotels are filled, the restaurants are filled up, the amusement parks are filled up. And then you're going to talk about an economic problem? No, the wages have been keeping up since inflation got mitigated. So don't fall for it until we accept things the way they are and not the way we hope they would be. Okay? Until we accept the way things are and not the way we hope they would be, nothing will change. It is imperative that we do that. It is imperative that we don't just say, "Oh my God, something is going down." It is imperative that we do that. Anyway, folks. Anyway. Let's see what else we got here. Kamala is rich. Will be fine. Yeah, she'll be rich and fine. Let's see. Paul Fleming says, never invest in a business. Let's see what that says. Never invest in a business you cannot understand. Warren Buffett. That, that is true. You shouldn't invest in a business you don't understand. But, a lot of people do that, right? A lot of people invest in businesses they don't understand. But what can I say? Anyhow. Let's see what else I have here to say before. Let's see. Um, para ver. I'm going through the scroll. I'm going through the scroll. I'm going through the scroll. Uh, let's see. I am so surprised Black Friday. Oh, here's from Paul Fleming. North Carolina legislative Republicans moved closer Monday to enacting a measure that would erode the powers of the incoming governor and over Democratic. It is sad what they're doing there, right? The Democrats show that they are in control of the state of North Carolina. While Kamala didn't win, and this is a clear example that Kamala didn't win because of racial and gender issues. Okay, um, it is clear. Now, I want you to think about this. Every state office, major state office in North Carolina, was won by Democrats. The governor, the assistant, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and all these positions were won by North Carolinians, by Democratic North Carolinians. And now, because of gerrymandering, they have created a legislature that is a a Republican legislature, but not only is it a Republican legislature, but it's a veto-proof Republican legislature. What that means is they can override the veto of the they can override the veto of the governor. So what they want to do is they want to pass a law that takes away the power that the North Carolina governor has always had. I repeat, they want to take away the power that the governor, etc., has already had and move that power to the legislature. So they are going to write a law to do that, but that law has to be signed by the governor. The governor will veto that law. When the governor vetoes that law, guess what this legislature have? A veto-proof law because they can override the governor. I want you to think closely about that, guys. I want you to think closely about what that means. What that means is that at that point in time, they will, in as much as all the state races was won by Democrats because of a Democratic majority in the state of North Carolina, they now want to take control. You see, they want to be Democratic when they want to be, and then they want to be fascist when they want to be. It's a shame. All right, layoffs. Fox News captures 73% of primetime cable news audience as MSNBC, CNN face post-election tumble. Viewers continue. Yeah, they're disillusioned. They're disillusioned, so they're not watching TV at all. Okay, let's see what else we got here. It seems like Mike Cisak is obsessed with black families. I don't know why you're so obsessed with it. Actually, the Moynihan report said that, but it also destroyed. The Moynihan report should have said destroyed poor families because the laws weren't written race conscious. The laws were written class conscious. And what happens is a larger percentage of the black family fell into that class. But again, I know, my brother, you don't understand that. You don't understand the differences, but I'll try to continue to teach you. All right, Eric Hayes says, if North Carolina is Democratic leadership, why did it vote GOP? Oh, Lord. I repeat, is it so hard to understand, Eric? what North Carolina proved was that we are still a racist country. The governor, which is voted on at large, was voted Democratic. The lieutenant governor voted at large, voted Democratic. There was Democratic lieutenant governor and attorney general. But when it came to the presidency, they just couldn't see past this woman, this black Asian woman. It's clear that you can't get any clearer than that. You can't get any clearer than how the senators in Wisconsin and Michigan outperformed Kamala Harris. You can't. You may try, but you can't. Okay. Paul Fleming says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but in a single billionaires on the planet cares about you. Not a single billionaire on the planet cares about you. If they did, they wouldn't be a billionaire. Hope this helps. But the other thing is, nobody has earned a billion. Nobody has earned a billion. It's impossible. The only way a billionaire has gotten the billionaire is an implicit robbery. And I know that is harsh. I know that is harsh, but that's the only way somebody can garner $1 billion, and in the case of Musk, over 200 billion dollars or so. All right, Paul Plymouth says over 74 million Americans voted for Democrats in this election. They don't expect to roll over and play dead. And progressive policies like paid sick leave, minimum wage increases, and abortion rights won ballot measures around the country. I am staying in the fight. We're all staying in the fight. All of us. Now, we may not be watching MSNBC, or a lot of people may not be watching MSNBC, but they'll be watching a hell of a lot of other stuff, including politics done right. Mike C says Egberto was Democrats who pushed war on poverty in order to control those who are dependent. No, they pushed it because it was a necessary thing to do. That's why they pushed it. I mean, it is not rocket science, guys. Come on now. It's not rocket science. Vámonos, it's not rocket science. All right. Bruce Poller checking in to hear today's rant. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I'm surprised nobody hasn't called yet. By the way, I'm taking calls 281-823-7747. The number is 281-823-7747. Anybody wants to call, give me a call. Una vez más, 281-823-7747. Bruce, I hope you had a good time in Minnesota. I know you went there for your I know you went to Minnesota for your Turkey Day. Tony says, Mike C, I don't understand how combatant poverty is viewed as a bad thing. Well, here's how it's viewed as a bad thing. My Turkey Day was great. I had a great time eating every kind of food from a lot of different ethnicities. It was a great Turkey Day. Um, AVQ says Mike C has been flooding the zone with BS today, repeating. Mike C won't even understand that Democrats and Republicans basically switched sides during the 1960s civil rights movement, where Republicans went Southern strategy. Again, don't ask them to understand anything that requires critical thinking. That's what I was speaking to a few people about today. In fact, the interview that I did, I spoke about having people critically think. Unfortunately, uh, and I don't say this to be disrespectful, but the policy of Republicans are to prevent people from thinking critically, because once you begin thinking critically, you cannot support those policies. It is that simple. I guess Bruce went to visit Tim Walz. Hey, Bruce, how's Tim Walz doing? I trust that he's doing just fine, right? Todd would say no one should be too woke to be thankful once a year. It's not about being thankful once a year. I mean, it's about what the holiday represents. I mean, I am thankful not once a year. I'm thankful every day. I am thankful every day. All right, Mike Cisak is on the line. Mike Cisak is on the line. I'm scared to hear how Mike Cisak is gonna really harm his reputation. What's up, Mike?
Well, hey,
Mike,
how's it
you're
going?
on.
So you survived your Thanksgiving. That's good.
Okay, hold on a
Um,
second. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. I think I have an issue with the wireless here. Are you talking?
not yet, but will be.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, sadly, very few people here really kind of know their history. Um, and that's a shame. But I mean, I don't expect much. So, just a little history here. What the GOP did not take over the southern states until the very late 1990s. Okay, where they started with Texas, and then they started into the 2000s, where they actually started taking over state legislatures in the 2000s of the southern states. Okay, they weren't really known to be GOP, red states overall. Now, there's
Un-
times when they switch back and forth
Unfortunately, you're
voting
wrong.
as far as
Let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me tell you
as
why
far as
you're
the
wrong.
presidency.
No, no, hold on. Let me tell
Okay,
you why you're
they
wrong.
there was
Mike Cisak, when I tell it's my program, when I tell you to stop, stop. Now, here's the deal. They did. What you don't realize is a lot of the Southern Democrats, even as they carried the title Democrats, they were actually Republicans. And you take a look at all of the conversions that occurred, that you would see that, in fact, even the governor of Texas was a Democrat before he became Republicans. And that is what Brother Rudnin was trying to tell you in the chat. The big switch occurred, and it
right.
wasn't just by
Because
label.
he never converted. Right. Yeah. There was only one person that ever converted, and he was actually apologetic for what he did. Okay,
Who is
that
that?
converted to a GOP. The very old guy.
No, there are many of them that converted to GOP. Every single
No, they
Texas.
did not.
It's not look. I'm not
You
asking you.
cannot name one.
Of course I
You
can.
tried to name one, and he didn't.
No,
I'm
I know
sorry.
the current
You got it wrong.
no, wrong. Hold on a second. The governor of Texas, okay, was a Republican. I mean, a Democrat turned Republican. The senator of Texas was, and I'm talking about just a few years ago, was a Democrat turned Republican. I can give you a string of that going right through. So what you're saying is patently false. I know this. It's evident you don't, my brother. But continue.
I'm talking about 1960s Democrats here. I'm
Oh,
not talking about
the
2020.
1960s Southern Democrats were what's known as
Right, yeah.
Dixiecrats.
None of them converted. You look it up. Okay? I've already
Uh,
looked it up. I already checked.
look,
Okay, there was one
it's not
strong
concerning.
term.
Wait,
That's who it
it's
was.
not
That
concerning
was
whether
it.
they. Hold on. It doesn't matter if they converted to being Republican or not. That's not the issue. The issue is what they did. When Johnson passed civil rights, what did he say? I have lost the South for a generation. In other words,
Oh, you didn't say that.
it has nothing to do with whether a declared racist decided to change parties or not. They are what they are, or they are what they were. Continue, my brother.
Okay, so anyway, so you're still spreading the lie. But anyway, so the thing is that a lot of ever since between FDR and LBJ, okay, there has been a push for poverty programs as far as welfare. Okay, it used to be where the black families were very Republican because it was Republicans who freed them as the Freedom Party when slavery was still around. Okay, and it was the Democratic Party that was created to protect slavery. That's the way it was. All
But
right.
I don't look,
Um,
I fail to see your point, and let me tell you why I fail to see your point. The old
okay,
Democrats are now Republicans. The parties have changed their loyalty to honesty and their loyalty
and
to
they have.
morality.
Right. So when you're saying that, obviously you're just wrong, but there's a lot of other scholars who have looked into this.
And they're all
who said
wrong.
no.
Any scholar who says otherwise to
Yeah,
what
they're
I just
wrong.
said
I mean,
is
yeah, you're
wrong.
wrong. Exactly.
It,
So you're
it's
wrong. So okay, so let me kind of get it's getting real close to the end here. So what happened is since they couldn't enslave them, they did segregation as best they could. That way they tried to at least control them. Okay, as far as the Democrat Party, when that got taken away, as far as in the 60s, 50s, actually 50s and 60s, when the Republicans tried to push civil rights in the 50s, all the Democrats voted against that as well, the Northern and Southern Democrats. So in the 60s, yes, civil rights was pushed again, and the only reason that some Democrats actually voted for it is because they said, hey, why don't we put in laws to where we can control businesses and saying you can't do this, you can't do that, and so on. None of the other previous laws have been put into that. And they're like, hey, great. Now we have control over not just people, but businesses as well.
now,
Okay,
Mr. Cisak,
that was the
Mr.
really
Cisak,
straw to
you live in an alternate state of reality. First of all, when you believe you speak as if
well, it's a
welfare was
fact.
designed for black people or minorities. Welfare was not designed for black people and minorities. If welfare went to black people and minorities only, there would be no welfare, sir. In fact, the only reason welfare passed is because it actually helped the larger population of white poor people. The vast recipient of welfare in our country are poor white people. And until you get that into your head, because every
As a
time I watch you
percentage of
on
the
the
population,
it doesn't matter. It's a
welfare goes
sir,
to
sir,
blacks the most.
sir, sir. As a percentage of the population, there were more blacks that are poor because of what slavery did and what a whole lot of other
Not because of
things did.
slavery.
No, no, no. It's slavery, redline, and
It's
everything. So
because of the Democrat Party.
sir, listen. All people agreed to slavery. The Constitution codified slavery. Okay, whether you like it or not, it's a flawed Constitution raised by
Well,
people who
actually,
didn't
the
give a
Constitution did, but
no,
you
no,
know,
no. Again,
that's another argument.
you can read the Constitution. Everybody can. Now, but again, it's important. It's important. Let me just tell you, learn real history and not what's taught. But I got to go, brother. Thank you for
Right,
calling
and
in.
there was a previous slave owner, a slave person.
Look, sir. It's
Douglas,
clear
I
to me
can't.
that you
Anyway,
have a race problem,
who
brother.
came out and said no, the
Brother, it is
Constitution was
clear to
not.
me you have a race problem because every time we talk
Well,
about
yeah,
economic
because
issues, you have
Democrats
to jump into sir.
keep
Look,
harming the
sir,
black community.
brother, you don't give a damn about the black community. Why would you even bring that up? Have a
I
great day,
do.
CSAC. CSAC, brother, have a great
Hey,
day. You
real
keep being
quick,
apart. Yes. Go ahead, real quick.
real quick. So, tell you what. As far as what you're gonna see coming up when Trump gets into office, okay? Just a little heads up. A whole bunch of stuff is gonna go away in the federal government, and you're gonna finally get back what you've been demanding all this time, which is government of the people, by the people,
We'll
by
see.
the representatives who
Okay,
are
I know that's
instead
I
of
know
the
that you think Trump is going to fulfill your best wet dream, but I
oh
wish you
yeah.
luck. We are going to fight like hell to make sure
Well,
this guy doesn't do the bad
sorry,
things. But
because
you have a
SCOTUS
great
has
day.
already ruled on that.
Have a great day, brother. Peace. All right, folks. I have to entertain that now. Come on. Anyway, folks, we are close to the end of the program. Please do remember to consider becoming a supporter of the program. One of the best way to support the program is to become a paid a paid uh, uh, subscriber to our newsletter. And how do you do that? You can become a paid subscriber to our newsletter by going to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. And I'm about to put that into the links right now. politicsdoneright.com newsletter. There it is. Okay. Anyway, folks, I got to get out of here. Thank you so kindly. Love you all. Great conversation. Remember, this will be replayed again tonight several times. Um, so, again, for the person who asked, we are live between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. every weekday, Central Time. And we're live between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. every day, Central Time. Okay, it is how we get there. Now, Mike Cisak, I want to remind you, he claimed that welfare was a form of slavery. Again, sometimes you wonder how people's minds work. Let me tell you what is antiseptic slavery. Capitalism is the form of antiseptic slavery. But I got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willis. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willis. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.